This is still the POLITY, and we're reaching live from the Abuja studios of Kaftan TV. Right now, I've been joined by Atiku Abubakar, and with him, we are going to be analyzing the pros and cons, the progress and the pitfalls of the Renewed Hope agenda led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Atiku Abubakar is a politician and also a policy analyst. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon.
Thank you so much for your time on the program today. First of all, we have embarked on a series of trying to, analyze the Renewed Hope agenda in the last 1 year. In a few days' time, say in 5 days' time, it's going to be officially, 1 year into the administration of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. What's your general assessment of the performance so far?
My general assessment is that the president is on track. And we hope that in the coming years things will be better, but things are tough for the moment.
But then, what are your if you say the president is on track, what are your pointers to the fact that the president is on track?
Yes, all the indices that have been rolled out are not really what should be used, because you have to go back to where we are coming from. Some of these people, I see them that they are not being just and fair to the president. They were in this country when the bastardization of the economy was going on. They were quiet, maybe because they were benefiting. All the ills of the former administration, they were quiet, only for them to start shouting now. All of these things happening, the hunger now didn't just start. Former President Muhammadu Buhari laid the foundation of the hunger, the insecurity for this administration. If things were done in the proper way, things would not have been the way they are now. These people, because now that maybe they are no longer benefiting, they are now talking, shouting. I hate hypocrisy in my life. That's why I have maintained that when compared, it's not that I'm saying, oh, President Tinubu is a fantastic leader, he's the best leader. No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but then you have once called out this very administration a few weeks ago, and you in terms of your choice of words, you weren't kind to this very administration a few weeks ago. So I really want to know. I really want to get it from your perspective, as someone who is in the middle of it all. You are in the polity, and you as a citizen of Nigeria. If you say that the president is on track, I can tell you for a fact now that there are people on the streets. There are people on the streets of Nigeria right now that do not know where their dinner will come from. As I'm speaking to you, which under the president, under the Buhari's administration, things it could have been different. There are people right now who, cannot afford the very basic necessities, talking about shelter, food.
Okay, they could afford it during Buhari. It's now they could not afford.
So I want us to put things in perspective. What exactly are the pointers? What exactly are the pointers? Is it that Nigerians were buying dollar, Nigerians were exchanging dollar at the rate of 700 naira during the last administration and they are now exchanging for 1,500 naira. Is that a point? I want us to put things in perspective, lay a solid foundation for this discourse before we proceed.
Okay, what you should understand is this: anybody you bring will not be able to do the miracle within the shortest period of time.
Okay.
Because the economy was bastardized. The likes of Sadia, the likes of the PA of the president, they were packing money that they will never need. Buhari was supporting them and giving them the necessary presidential protection. That was when Nigerians should have risen up to see that the right thing was done. But Nigerians were quiet. They packed virtually everything How do you expect the dollar not to rise when everything you do not even have a refinery that can refine your products? You do not have, you cannot export things. You import even toothpicks. All of these things. Your country is producing a vehicle. You don't patronize your own country. You go outside to bring all of these things. These are the things that are affecting the economy. You allow people, everybody's just looking left and right. So how do you expect all of these things not to rise? So I want people to be sincere. Yes, I called out on the president some times back, and I still maintain my position when it comes to the economy. I do not believe he has gotten it right.
Okay.
But other things, politically, he is almost perfect.
Other things,
yes.
What?
Political stability.
Okay.
We have gotten it right.
Okay.
Security, we are almost moving in the right direction.
Okay, now let's talk about political stability. When you say the president has gotten it right in terms of political stability, how does that political stability transmit directly into the general well-being of the citizens?
Yes, it has direct correlation with even economic prosperity.
We want to know
how if there's political tension in the land, it can snowball into crisis where there will be agitations from different places. Work cannot go on. You and I cannot come here and sit down to analyze anything once there's political tension. When there are agitations from different states and regions that we are not being carried along, just like during Buhari that people were talking about marginalization. But in this case now, it is minimal. The only region, let me tell you, I don't come just to support. The only region I feel that it has not been properly carried along is the southeast. Any other region, they are only making unnecessary excuses. In the southeast,
unnecessary excuses that just recently a group came out from the southwest agitating for the Yoruba nation.
Those ones have always been there. They just want political rebels. Those are not serious people.
If you talk about political stability, may I remind you that just a few months ago there were calls for protests tagged the hunger protest. The protest happened across cities in Nigeria. The protest happened across cities in Nigeria where people from a particular region in the country were saying, no, don't join this protest. Let's stay back, let's drink our beer and watch you guys go out there and protest against what you people voted for. That is political instability.
No, that's not political. When there's political tension, the hunger is part of, you take that to the economic angle.
The economic angle. So because, what about in River State?
In River State, see the way it is being managed. If you were to be doing president, at least the president called it two leaders, Governor Fubara and the Minister for FCT. Called them together. They reached an agreement before they are now going different ways again. At least there was an effort. But during the last administration, it doesn't do anything. Even EFCC and DSS had some squabbles. I think he really just left them like that. A serious organization, the most sensitive organizations in the country. The man was not even in charge. You couldn't find. There was no leadership at all. Now at least somebody is doing something. That's what I am saying. We should appreciate the little effort and tell him, Mr. President, this area you are doing well. But this the inflation in the country. The inflation rate, to me, he has gotten it very bad. Maybe the person at CBN there, he needs to change him.
Okay.
Yes. So these are the areas we talk about. Bringing in somebody, not those who will just be interested in maybe making money for themselves or maybe certain things the way the previous administration was doing, where you can just make somebody a billionaire just because he has the contact. All of these things should be stopped. He should be stamped with authority. Economically, I don't believe the president has gotten it right. he needs to consider the poorest of the poor. But nobody should tell me that there are people who do not have meals for the day. Even in America, there are some persons that today they don't know how they are going to eat. That one is everywhere in the world. It's not only in Nigeria.
So is that a justification for what is happening in Nigeria?
It's not a justification, but what I'm saying is that nobody should say that that's yes, but the number in Nigeria is higher, and that's why the president needs to do something. It's not by just sending money. Okay, the another aspect I see the president has gotten it wrong is that he is always releasing more money to these governors. These governors are crooks. They are only those in their first tenure are trying to change this money into dollars to be able to buy election again, because they know people don't vote for them. So these are crooks. But what do you want the president to do? He should be able to sit down with people who are reasonable, critical thinkers, to advise him, just like most of these advisors that he has picked. So some of them don't have anything to offer. Because no matter how intelligent you are, if you don't have a mind of your own, if you are not bold, you can't deliver. For example, the president cannot make me his advisor and thinks, if I stay for 5 months, I don't see him to advise me on issues, I will resign. What am I? Why should I be an? But these are irresponsible. Sorry for the choice of word. They are irresponsible. I don't know the word to use. They will be there. They might not see the president for 1 year to advise him on critical issues, but because they are receiving their salaries and entitlement, they keep quiet. No. I've passed that stage in my life. How can you pick me as your advisor and then I cannot advise you on issues? So these people, these are the kind of persons that are. It doesn't matter whether you are a first-class graduate, as long as you don't have the courage, the boldness to do what is right. You can't give me a job as an advisor. I stay for 3 months, 4 months, I don't see you. I tell you, Mr. President, you are getting it wrong. And your advisor on so and so, and this thing you are doing is not correct. I will tell you, Mr. President, Your Excellency, you are getting it wrong. And this thing must be done in the right way. Else, Mr. President, I have to resign because I'm not doing my work. So even the money you are paying him, I might have to refund the money because I'm not done anything to deserve the payment. So why should so that's the problem we have in this country. So you cannot be blaming the president all the time.
But then, do you think Nigerian politicians at this moment they've grown to that level of moral standard whereby they can say, oh, I'm not being given the I was appointed into this position. I'm not being given the chance. I'm not being given the chance to perform on this duty. I'm not even given the chance to see my principal, to advise him based on this role that I have been assigned, and therefore I want to resign my position and also refund all the money. Do you think Nigerian politicians have grown to that place whereby their moral standard will let them do so?
No, you still have some that will do that, but they are very few. That's the challenge we are facing in the country at the moment. They are very few, and that's what we need so that we can grow. All of this, majority of these people are just yes sir boys now. They are just yes sir boys, including some of these ministers you are seeing. It's just when they come out, they will be making shakara. They are just yes sir boys. Anything you say, they are yes sir. So that's another thing again, is that it's not even good. The president, though he has tried, he has picked some persons who have something to offer. Don't pick, even if you, even in your circle of friends, don't be friends with yes sir. Anything you say, they agree. Those kind of people are dangerous. They are not human beings that you should work with. They should have a mind of their own to be able to, I am thinking in this way. I think it is better if it is done this way. But how can all the time somebody is talking, you say yes, everyone yes. Don't you have a mind of your own? God did not create people and didn't give them anything. So everybody you see on earth has something. Yes. Everybody you see on earth has something. So you should be able to make use of your brain to provide solutions. Okay,
just before we leave this very issue, I still want us to talk about the Tinubu and his appointees. A lot of Nigerians are saying that a lot of his ministers have been, well below par since their appointment as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Do you think the president, would be open to, probably reassigning the ministers, or what has happened to the performance assessment portal that was created to, monitor the assessment or to monitor the performances of these ministers? Up to this very moment, we haven't, there are no information out there as to, as to the ratings of these ministers and how well they have performed. A lot of Nigerians are looking forward to the president, reassigning these ministers, probably sending some away that you have not performed up to my expectations. What are your thoughts on this?
I want to believe that Mr. President will do that maybe after this his first year in office. He must have given them enough time, 1 year, almost a year for them to be able to deliver, and by now he knows those who are not doing anything. Some of the ministers are just too redundant and they have no business remaining in office. Some can be reassigned because they were given positions that they did not really understand what
the nitty-gritty of that position.
So maybe Mr. President will have to reassign some and then sack some and bring in better and more experienced persons that will be able to man the various ministries. That I believe Mr. President will do.
All right, now let's talk about the proposed minimum wage. Talking about the negotiations between the labor unions, the NLC, the TUC, and the federal government. The first proposal by the federal government was a minimum wage of 48,000 naira, which was outrightly rejected by the labor unions. And there was another proposal of 58,000 naira by the federal government, which was outrightly rejected also. There were calls, there was supposed to be another meeting between the labor unions and the federal government. Today, the outcome of that very meeting, we are still keeping our fingers crossed for it. However, the labor have said that there will be no going back on the May 31st deadline for all negotiations. If if an agreement is not reached between now and May 31st, that the labor unions will be willing to down their tools. Let's not forget that the labor union have made a proposal of 615,000 naira minimum wage for workers, and one of the reasons for this is if the people in the House of Assembly, the Senate, are going home with millions of naira every month, then 615,000 naira for the Nigerian workers should not be an issue. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think the federal government was fair enough with the 58,000 naira proposal? And on the part of the labor, do you think the labor unions were reasonable enough by demanding 615,000 naira?
If you go to the market, you will agree with the labor union. But if you are in government, you will know it's not sustainable.
Okay.
So that's a challenge now. If you go to the market to buy food stuff, because they are proposing
615,000. The federal government is proposing 58,000 naira. The labor unions are proposing 615,000 naira.
I bought a bag of local rice for 68,000 naira.
Okay.
So that means even the amount the federal government is proposing cannot buy a bag of rice.
Okay.
And a bag of rice can only take me 2 months. Of course, it's not only rice you eat, and you cannot just buy a bag of rice, you just soak it inside water and be eating.
Absolutely.
You also need certain things. So the 68,000 naira is not
58,000.
58 is not enough.
Okay.
600 and something thousand naira, the demand of labor is not sustainable.
Okay.
It's not achievable. So they will have to come together. I have never been a supporter of increment in salary, and I will never be.
So what do you think is, a way out of this, deadlock between the labor and the federal government right now? At what point do you think, that solution will be, favorable for all Nigerians? Let's not forget that it's just a fraction of Nigerians that are working for the federal government.
And even the fraction, if I were to be in position to advise the president, I will say that he certain things should be put in proper perspective. Sit down with labor, they'll agree for the amount of money to be, and then they might agree for maybe minimum wage to be something like 70,000 naira, but on the condition that certain things will be put. Even if you pay 600 and something thousand, I tell you, it's not even enough. As long as you have one wife, 4 children, maybe 1 or 2 in the secondary school, that amount of money is not enough for you in with the present situation of the country. It's not enough.
Okay.
So what the government should have done, that the government has left undone, because you have crooks who have taken over leadership in so many places. You see, primary school, secondary school, hospitals, basic necessities, try and see that you make it affordable. People will not need much. Food, amount of food stuff. I don't even know what the Minister of Agric is doing. All those people who have been ministers of Agric, they are to me, nobody, if you feel insulted, you can come. I don't care who you are, as long as you're not doing the right thing. To me, they don't have anything upstairs. It is either they don't have anything upstairs, or they do not even believe in eternity, that they just waste the lives of Nigerians. You're a minister for Agric. You should be able to advise. There are certain things that can be done. If you go into, there's nothing that stops you from advising the president to see how you go into large-scale farming in a way that you saturate the market. Allow people who want to hoard food to hoard food. It will be so enough that their food, it will be wasting.
So the government itself should go into large-scale farming.
Why should they? All of these workers, what are they doing in their offices? From level, you are hungry, you are tying suit with hunger. Level 3, most of these offices, they are just sitting there, they are not doing anything. Level 6 or level 7 downward, go to the farm. Or whichever ministry, even if you are in the Ministry of Education, the people you need in the offices, they are not much. You just need few people in the various offices. All others go to the farm. All others go to the farm, so that you have food to eat. When you have food to eat, that's when people can take well. People are just engaged in little talks. They are wasting their time, because when you are hungry, you are a confused human being. You cannot be productive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
See, take charge and ensure that citizens are not hungry first. Use the Ministry of Agric. The money is just meant for, they are just doing, all of these ministries, the agencies are just doing contracts. You need to buy this phone. This phone probably is 10,000 naira in the market. They will write useless quotation, write so many things. At the end, they will buy this phone for 150,000 naira. 10,000 naira in the market. All of those things, you need to find a way to stop this stealing you call contracts. These are the things to be done. You will have enough money, and then there will be money to even increase the minimum wage that workers will not even need to demand again. That's why I don't see problem in this country. I don't see problem with the people that are managing. How can you can't give me position that I cannot work and expect me to. I will come out and say, you have made me handicapped. I see solution every day, but I see that even all these criminals you are taking to court, you don't need to take them to court. This one has stolen so and so money. Call them. You are the president. See, just ensure that the various security agencies, maybe the EFCC, the DSS, do a thorough job. Bring the file. In this your account, you have 150 billion. This one you have so billion. Calm down. Come, let's talk. This country is about to collapse. Before you came to office, you didn't have 1 billion. Now you have about 500 billion naira. You are my friend. This one, somebody has stolen so much. Even when you arrest such a person, you don't beat him, because if he dies, then some of the money will go.
Absolutely.
You give him as the president, people will be happy to meet you. You are my friend, even though it's not your friend. Say you are my friend. You are one of the stakeholders of this country. I will not allow EFCC to embarrass you. You will just try to talk to him so that he feels respected. This year, 500 billion naira. Please, we don't need to go to court. We don't need to quarrel. because you are a major stakeholder in this country, give us 140 billion naira. Take the 10 billion naira. I would direct EFCC to stop your prosecution, and I will also tell them to give you the respect you deserve, even if it means them apologizing to you. I'll tell them, collect 140 billion. All of them have looted so much. Collect. Use politics to collect the money. If you go to court, they buy the judges. You don't have the institution to fight these criminals now. What do? Go the political way. If he doesn't, if you try, you see that it's an animal. He wants to prove from ahead. Lock the idiot. Lock the idiot. See, the stage we are now, you have to stamp authority. You see, it's not the office that makes you great. It's the person, your character, that will make you great. So do all of these things. Gather all the money. Then Nigerians will begin to see. These people have stolen so much. They can do anything. In short, these people, they can cause crisis anywhere, because the way you have youths who don't have work now, if you give youths money, just at least 10 million naira now, they can capture DPO for you.
Absolutely.
So in that case, what do? Try to reduce their power by getting so much money away from them. You don't need the police. You don't need to make a good number of them will release the money, because they want to meet with the president. They want to be honored like that. Say, no, I had, so that they can go and brag that nothing happened to them.
And they want to be free too. Okay then, let's our time is fast spent already. Let's talk about Kano State. A lot seems to be happening in Kano State, and the last doesn't seem to have been heard already between the present governor, the past governor, and even Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. What exactly is going on? What's your take on the political heat in Kano State at the moment, and the impact of it on the citizens of Kano?
Yes, what is happening is that why I know, and I've worked very closely with Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. I can't say same of Dr. Umar Abdullahi Ganduje, because I have not had anything with him. So I do know that from the anger of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, from on his own account, has shown that he is the problem of Kano State. Let me tell you what he has been telling us severally.
Before we proceed, what exactly is the reason for Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso's anger?
Okay, what he told us, that when he handed over to Ganduje, he has repeatedly said this, that he remained in government house. He remained in government house, just like the accused former governor Yahya being in government house. After handing over, for a while, he continued to live in government house. And then he said that Ganduje, when he was governor, after he has handed over to him, Ganduje now started renovation of the area where he was living, as using style to ask him to pack away. Okay. The question now is this. He is the one. He said this in my presence, in the presence of so many persons, when I always bring groups of people to visit him. For God's sake, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso in Kastinala Street in Maitama, he has a big house that is almost the size of stadium. Okay. In Abuja, Maitama. 2. One of it is the size of a stadium. Okay. Behind a house of assembly in Kaduna, he has a big house almost the size of a stadium.
But he chose to stay in the government house
of Kano. In Kano State, he has a house. I'm just talking in Abuja alone, he has a house in Asokoro. He has a house in Area 11. They are so big. At least the one in Area 11 is almost the size of this TV station. Okay. The one in Metama almost the size of a football field. The one in Kano, of course, you should know now, the size of football field. Okay. So many houses, but you chose to live in government house, and you are complaining that this person, for God's sake, if you hand over, are you to continue to live in government house? You judge now who is at fault between Ganduje and Kwankwaso, so that he continue to live you want him to hand over the treasury to you, and the man says no. Go and ask if Dr. Ganduje is the national chairman. You can request to confirm this. I don't know him. I don't know. I'm telling you what Konkoso said. I've not heard from Dr. Ganduje.
Okay.
But from the account of Konkoso says that he is the problem of is the one who caused all the problem. You have handed over. For God's sake, leave. You said the reason he gave for remaining in government house that he had not finished the renovation of his house in Abuja.
Okay. Where
were you living before you became governor? If you have not finished the one in Abuja and you want to remain in Kano, for God's sake, you have had he had a house even before becoming governor. At least he has confirmed that before. In Kano, why didn't you go to your house in Kano? Why must you remain in government house? And you are saying that you are accusing your successor that he gave you away by repairing that area where you were living.
So is that a justification? So now, what's the link between all of this and Governor Ganduje, who is being arraigned in the Kano State?
Because then former Governor Ganduje refused to surrender the account of Kano State government to him. They fell apart, but that might not be taken until you confirm from Dr. Ganduje. But this is what I observed from the statement of Konkoso.
Okay.
But I have no business with Dr. Umar Ganduje, so I don't have access to him, so I cannot even confirm. But what Senator Konkoso says is what I am using to tell you that this was the reason. And now, the arraignment of Dr. Ganduje, it is business and irrelevant, and it shows that they are childish. You want to arraign somebody, why don't you start a commission of inquiry? Why don't you start with Senator Konkoso, who was accused of diverting over 10 billion naira from the state, I think local government also, treasury also.
Okay.
Why don't you start from all other accounts of diversion of money of Konkoso? At least Konkoso was governor before Ganduje. The current governor of Kano State, being an errand boy to Konkoso, is doing this to please Konkoso, although on the directive of Konkoso. Okay. So why should you do that? If you are sincere, there's no sincerity all of these things. Whatever they are in, whatever reason, you should do it together so that you will be seen to be just and neutral. You have taken an oath of office and you are betraying the oath of office. If you want to arraign the two of them, then they say, no, this man is just. But not when there are cases of diversion of money by your own boss, Senator Konkoso. There are no cases of diversion of money by Ganduje. So, but you are arraigning him, you set up a commission of inquiry to, of course, anybody who has been governor in Nigeria. If you want to arraign him for anything, you will definitely find something. It's just that the court might set the person free because you will not have anything to prove it.
Anything to prove
yes.
it. Thank you so much for your very much insightful analysis. We would have loved to carry on with the conversation, but our time is fast spent. But we hope to have you on the program again sometime. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you once again. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. Do also join us again, same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Francis Adeniyi. Bye.